Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be reviewing the second half of Big City Greens Season 3 Episode 16, and it's called Study Abroad, and this is a Remy episode. And it's cool that we're actually getting back to Remy because in around the beginning of when the Greens moved back to the country, we kind of had Remy kind of showing Cricket a different perspective. While Cricket was showing Remy the country and this is different stuff we can do. This is how we have fun. This is the junkyard. Oh, this was my old best friend, and Remy alongside those two episodes, Remy was basically explaining to Cricket that hey, you're right, anything can be fun, and Remy also says that a lot of things change and a lot of people grow from stuff, and that was pretty cool that both characters helped out each other. And now we're kind of getting back into swing of things with Remy, and basically we had different other characters we had to go to. There was a Tilly episode, Tilly and Andromeda episode with pen pals. There was a bunch of Cricket episodes. There was even a Gloria and Alice episode when we went back to Big City before Alice decided to move back in with the Greens. Or at least visit. No, she said that I'm going to stay for a while. So she's just visiting, technically, just like Remy. Remy isn't living there. And that's actually what this episode is about, because Remy basically told his parents, going to the country with the Greens is going to be a study abroad program. And that actually makes sense for Remy because he's an intellect. So we basically started with and again, I love the titles. And for pen pals, the title was on Tilly's pen, I believe, I think, and with Study Abroad is actually on a leaf. And it's why would it be on a leaf? I guess it just picked something. The reason why it would be on a leaf is because Tilly, Remy, and Cricket are playing with leaves and stuff, and just playing and goofing around. The leaves are kind of go with the flow, and that's what Remy was early in the episode. Nancy's oh hey, what are you kids doing? Just absolutely nothing. And then when the characters say, it's a free Sunday, then Remy starts freaking out. Basically, I kind of jump ahead just a little bit, but and then Remy starts freaking out. Oh no, Sunday already! Because basically at the end of the weekend, Sunday, Remy calls up his parents, or his parents call up him, and Remy explains what he did, what he learned this weekend. That's basically his study abroad program. That's basically it. So the title on the leaf is basically symbolizing that Remy's kind of a go with the flow type of guy until he realizes, and it's early in the episode, he realizes it's Sunday and I completely forgot. So I actually like that's on the leaf, because it could have just study abroad could have been on a tablet, showing that Remy's parents and Vasquez are on the tablet. But I actually like it on the leaf, so it comes flow. Do you like how? It's a weird question, but do you like how the title of the episode is on the leaf, showing Remy's a go with the flow type of guy, or would you liked it somewhere else? Because I like how Big City Greens has these titles in different places. There was one, what was it called, Cheap Show in season 2, where basically and there was a fog on a window that says cheap show, and then Cricket basically wiped it away, and showing Cricket creating another fog. So that original fog was Cricket getting excited about the show, the carnival that was right outside his house. So I kind of like how the title of the episode kind of symbolizes what's going to happen in the episode, or what's going to happen later in the episode. So I really like that. So basically, so the leaves blow away, and we have Cricket, Tilly, and Remy playing helicopter. And I'm not sure if any of my viewers lives in the country, and this is something everyone does, or just back in the country. I'm not sure, but basically they you shake the tree, and these leaves, and these two-headed leaves come down, and then they spin around like a helicopter, and you have to blow on it, and so it can keep spinning. Has anyone done that before? And it comes blow. Have you guys done that before? Or I definitely heard of it, but I'm not sure does everyone do it? Is it just in the country? Is it just where big trees and a lot of leaves are? Or and those two-headed leaves, are they everywhere? Probably not, but who knows? So they're just playing helicopter, and then Remy just does it, and he's hey, that was pretty good. And the Chris, I can do it, but much better. And he just instantly fails because all those leaves go in his mouth and he just coughs it up. And then they all laugh because, oh, you thought you could do it. But hey, let's go inside. And then they get a bunch of, I thought this was kind of weird. The transition is that let's get a snack. And then literally we hear a sound and then right into the house. I mean, you could have just had them walk into. I do like the joke of how Remy says like, "Oh, so that's why you did a long dramatic pause." But I think you could have used that joke some like in a different way because basically, Cricket's like, look, you know what? I think it's time for it. And then we hear, and then we see Cricket already with the Cheetos, like it just magically appeared, and he's like, for a snack. And then Remy says, oh, so that's why you did a dramatic pause. But why didn't Cricket said like, oh, like you hold those leaves, like it's making me kind of hungry. It seems like it's time for and we see Cricket just walk into the house, and then Remy and Tilly just like, and they're just walking after him. And then Cricket just gets like the Cheeto puffs from like a pantry or a cupboard, and then he starts pouring them for a snack. And Remy's like, oh, that's why you did a long dramatic pause. I think that would have been, I'm not sure about funnier, but I think it would have made more sense. I'm not, I know I shouldn't work up too much about this stuff, but when sort of like magical or what magical effects like start happening, I kind of like to think of it like Tilly is somehow doing it because of her psychic connection with animals. But obviously Tilly didn't do anything here, so this is just like an effect that the creators used. So I don't know. Again, I might be just be nitpicking just too much, like I always sometimes do. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think I'm nitpicking? Probably am. Anyway, so they just popped in magically, and so they're just having Cheetos and like oh and Remy's just enjoying life again, go with the flow. And it's oh you guys are having fun. He's like, what are you guys gonna do? Nothing, just like a free day. And Cricket's like, yep. Well, it's Sunday, and Remy just. Who are you talking about? What day is it? It's Sunday. That's what it says on the calendar. And this is a joke that worked. The calendar literally says, it's Sunday. Hilarious. And then Remy just looks at the calendar. No. And I didn't even get mad at him. I didn't get mad at him of Remy just getting all the Cheeto dust all over the fridge. Maybe because Remy got Cheeto dust all over his finger, so I actually like the effect of going down the fridge. Because Remy's spiraling out of control. It's in character, so it works. And then Nancy's like, Remy, you okay? And Remy just spirals out of control. And then he just knocks the bowl away from Tilly, and Tilly's getting Cheeto dust all over her mouth. And then Bill wants to help, and then Alice is like, no, like Bill, he's spiraling. We have to let him calm down, like, kind of like a wild animal. And then because Alice knows how to do that with children. And Cricket's like, yeah, don't worry. This has happened before in a different way. Like, don't worry, he'll just tire himself out. And then Remy just, like just crashing on the floor, like, whew. And Cricket's like, okay, buddy, just calm down. He's giving little pats on the head. Like, hey, like, what's wrong? And then, oh, man, my parents are gonna call soon. And I didn't tell them, I can't tell them anything that I learned because I haven't learned anything yet. And Alice is like, learned what? I have a little issue with this just because Remy in the beginning of like the mid-season finale, I forgot the name of the episode, but it's basically when the Greens move back to the country. The only ones who shouldn't know about the study abroad program would be Alice and Nancy. And I guess Gloria in this situation, since Gloria's back in Big City, she doesn't like need to know what's going on because they did never contact her or anything. But Nancy came in later, like when they're about to leave, and she came in with her motorcycle with the rest of the animals and her trailer. And then Bill said, like, "Oh, you don't need to bring the trailer; you get to stay with us." And then Nancy says, "Oh no, I'm fine with our suitable separate living arrangements." And Nancy's just fine with that, which I thought was actually pretty cool like dynamic they had. But so Nancy wouldn't know about the study abroad program because Remy mentioned that before Nancy arrived, and even so, even after Nancy arrived is when Alice arrived because she had to get her sunglasses from the house. So the Green family doesn't see her crying, but it dropped anyway, so she didn't need the sunglasses because everyone saw her crying anyway. But whatever. But Alice wanted to show that she was strong and stuff. But it was very sweet that she cared about the family. But so yeah, Alice wouldn't know about the Alice wouldn't know about the study abroad program either. So the only ones who should know that are living in the house currently would be Remy, Bill, Tilly, and Cricket. Those four. but none of them remembered? Did Remy just say like, "Oh, guys, like don't have to like to remember anything about it. Like it's just for me to worry about." Like, did they not hear Remy like talk to his parents? Did he do it in Cricket and Remy's room? And if he did one at least one of those times Cricket would have listened in on some of them, right? Because Remy basically tells his parents like stuff that he learned, and some of the stuff that you would learn in the country would most likely introduce Cricket because Cricket loves the country. Like Remy learned how to milk a cow. I think that would interest Cricket, right? Or am I wrong? Am I overthinking this? But it was kind of weird that I like how Alice was like, "Oh, tell them what you learned. What are you talking about?" That makes sense because Alice was still in the house, the farmhouse, while Remy was explaining things to Gloria, Bill, Cricket, and Tilly, and Nancy hasn't even shown up yet because Nancy was getting into her motorcycle, bringing the trailer, and Alice was still in the house. So those two characters wouldn't even know. So that's fine. But what's Bill, Cricket, and Tilly's excuse? Like, I think they should know. I guess I guess maybe it's meant to like just to re-inform the audience, but I think they should know. Especially Cricket is Remy's best friend, and Bill is a responsible adult, and this is kind of like a child with schooling. I think Bill should have maybe kept track of that, or maybe Remy's parents should have contacted like, "Hey, oh, hey, Bill, like, don't forget to inform Remy. I know he's responsible. He's still a kid. He's still gonna play around with Cricket. Just make sure he learns something." And he's, "Oh yeah, sure." Like um Rosita don't worry about it. I got it under control. Especially since Bill likes to micromanage things. That would make sense. But Bill seems to be unfazed by this. So like, did he forget? It seems weird that all of them forgot, including Remy. But I guess it's not a big deal. But maybe I'm overreacting, like I always do. But yeah, I think I'm gonna take a point off for that. Just like it's weird, because I like it and I don't like it because like, oh yeah, it makes sense why Alice wouldn't know because she wasn't there, and Nancy doesn't say anything, but she wouldn't know either. But the others, they should know. But anyway, especially since I kind of make an excuse for Cricket and Tilly because this is their like relaxing lazy Sunday. Bill should have known. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But anyway, Remy's basically saying like, "Oh, the only reason why my parents even let me stay in the country and consider this is because I sold it to them as a study abroad program, and that would make sense for the Remingtons and Remy. Like, because Remy's the intellect, it would make sense." And basically the entire situation is and Bill's like, "Oh, well, the only solution is that you need to tell the truth to your parents." And immediately when he said that, Remy interrupted him by saying like, "I need to lie to my parents." And again, I'm not taking a point out for Remy because Remy in this episode is spiraling out of control. So it makes sense why you did it. And then what no lines is gonna make things worse. Obviously Remy's not paying attention because he's spiraling. And then Cricket's like, okay. That's a big move that you're trying to pull. But I like how Cricket is like an artist in different ways. One in doodling and one in lying. He's like, lying is a delicate art form. Like Cricket takes lying very seriously. He's like, okay, you're taking a big step here. And they're like, oh, it takes years to practice like me. And then Bill's like, Cricket, you are not a master of lying. And then Cricket said, "Oh, you're right, Dad. You're always right." And he winks to Remy. And then like Bill, like, I'm not sure if he falls for it or he's like playing dumb. I'm not sure because Cricket winks. I'm sure everyone can see that. So I don't know because Bill didn't make like an angry face or anything. But so and I like how Remy is basically saying like, oh, because he's like, oh, like how many minutes because even Craig said, "Oh, we got like a whole day left, but it's still like kind of early in the day. What time is the parents gonna call? That you had to tell them what you learned because we probably have all the time to learn." And then Remy's like takes out his watch, 4 minutes. Oh my goodness, there's like no time at all to actually like learn something like legitimate in the country. Oh, or so I heard. So and then and Craig's like, "Oh yeah, like." You're doomed. We gotta lie. And then Remy's like, okay, like how are we gonna do this? Basically I have like two sides of a problem. One, if my parents realized that I had been slacking off with Cricket and Tilly, they would take me out of the country for sure. But Cricket's also right. I have no experience in lying, so I have two problems. So Greens, will you help me lie to my parents? And obviously everyone's like, yes, we'll help you. Because again, friendship, family, they we gotta support the way we can, but everyone supports in their own way. And Bill's like, no, and even Remy's like, oh, Mr. Green, please, like, oh, come on. And then it's Remy. I'm sorry. I want to help you, but this is just not the way to help you. You just gotta tell the truth to your parents. And it's I'm sorry, it's gonna be difficult, but like you just gotta tell the truth. I will not take part in any fibbery. And while he's talking, Cricket interrupts it like, okay, that's not gonna help, so let's go. I'm taking a point out for that because Cricket isn't spiraling out of control or anything. Cricket just doesn't want to listen to Dad and his whole truth monologue. So I'm taking a point out for that because Cricket, don't interrupt. I just don't like people interrupting people unless it's in their own madness type of character in the episode. So that's why I'm excusing Remy and I'm not excusing Cricket. And then Bill's like, ugh, whatever. This is all gonna spiral out of control, but I'm not gonna take a point in any February. But so the Greens, except for Bill, goes into like the dining room area. So the dining room area. Yeah. Anyway, so they're all talking words. They're all talking in a way that like what Remy can learn basically, and Cricket has a way of like old lines, it's a delicate art form. You have to do it properly, or you'll get caught. Basically, this is what Cricket's explaining, that you need to bring in a realistic scenario and a realistic environment, and something is specific that seems to be real, but there's little tweaks that is basically untrue, untrue. It's lying, but it's not lying or something. Like basically that's on the lines of what Cricket's basically saying. So he's like, oh, take for example, you are taking a hike in the woods. See, realistic environment, and you come across a snake. See, your realistic scenario, and this snake just happens to have a like glow in the dark, in the shape of the Big Dipper. And then Remy's like, okay, this is good, but what do I learn? Like what do I learn from the snake here with the glow in the dark Big Dipper? And Alice gets on the table. You learn how to fight it. The snake grabs around you. You strangle it, and venom is everywhere, and so much blood. She gets like a jar jam. She's just so dramatic. It's just blood everywhere, and it's like, oh, how was that, Remy? It's like, oh, we'll table that for now. Because Remy's like, my parents are not gonna like that, been finding a snake in the country. Oh my goodness. With venom everyone, Remy's parents are gonna like, are you okay? Oh my goodness, get the first aid. But she's like, okay, whatever. And let's see. And basically it's and basically let's see. All right, now it's Tilly's turn. Oh, I got you, Remy. It's like, I'll take it that you are in the woods. So kind of taking Cricket's idea. You're in the woods. It's a night, the highest full moon, and you have what was her name? Celine, the goose. Oh wait, sorry, no, it wasn't Tilly's turn. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Celine. I had to put you onto the side. Sorry about that. But actually, Nancy wanted to get into Cricket's idea after Alice did the whole fighting the snake sequence dramatic thing. And Nancy tried to. I don't know what's up with Nancy this episode. I guess she just happened to have the idea about hats. Okay, she's like, "What if the snake had a top hat?" It's like, "What? Like a long top hat, like Abe Lincoln?" It's like, "Yeah, exactly. Maybe you can have like a beard like Abe Lincoln." It's so funny. It's like, whoa. Why though? And everyone's just so confused. Like, why is the snake wearing a hat? Everyone's just so confused, but Nancy just thinks it's hilarious. I don't want to think it's funny is because Nancy thinks it's funny, and she's just like a hilarious character. So I'm like, Nancy, what's wrong with you? I'm like laughing at Nancy, not with Nancy. That's like that's my reaction to this episode in the Nancy parts, and then it builds like you know what I find funny, like not funny, lying. And it's like, and Cricket's like, Dad, have you been there the whole time listening to us? It's like, yeah, the the dining area is a communal space. True, 100% true. It's a communal space. Um, and he basically is like oh, I like how Bill is knowledgeable about things. I wish he would have been knowledgeable about the study abroad program, but okay, sure. He's like, oh, look, the snakes around here are harmless, and they're not even in the woods. They're in the Oki Plains. And then I don't like this how Alice is like, oh, you're good. I do like how Alice is like, oh, you're just gonna poke holes in a story. You should be giving us advice, like not poking holes in a story. You need to be giving ideas. And what I didn't like is that Alice is just like not strangling, but like shaking him around in the background. And Taylor's like, okay, it's my turn, Remy. I need to tell you about Celine the Goose, basically. And then while Tilly is starting the story, Alice just throws him. I was like, oh, it's Bill, okay, cartoon logic, Bill's fine. But yeah, I didn't like, 2 points off, 2 points off. Because Alice is doing this, and then, I didn't like that. Boo, Alice. But so basically, back to what I was saying before, is that like, oh, it's in the forest, it's high noon, and Selena Goose settles down, and not only is the moon like howling in the wind, also the coyotes are as well, and basically like what. And Ren's like, okay, this is nice, Tilly, but what does that have to do with our learning? And then Tilly's like, patience, Remy. There needs to be a bunch of setup before it gets to you. And it feels like what like some writers like say, like you need to have a setup in like the city basically before you get the setup of the main character. And some people and some writers do believe this. So Tilly's one of those people. Okay, interesting. And so basically, Nancy just wants to get in there saying, what is Celine's wearing a hat? I don't know what's up with me. Nancy pointed out my same question. She's like, I don't know what's up with me with animals with hats, and she's just laughing nonstop. Saliva came out of her mouth onto Remy's glasses. Ew. But Nancy just thinks it's hilarious. Okay, sure. She just can't stop laughing. And then, but like a scene later, the saliva is gone, but we didn't see Remy wipe or anything. So, logic. Okay. I mean, it's disgusting, so it kind of makes sense why did we get rid of it, but it's still that cartoon logic that's like kind of bothers me. But anyway, and then Bill's like, you know what, Remy? I got a story for you. I'm like, Bill's not converting to lying, is he? No. So I'm like, what's he planning? Bill, what you up to? And Bill's basically like, oh, I was in a similar situation like you. Oh, okay, it's a lying scenario. And Bill's like, oh, I was building a fence for my ma, but I didn't measure it right. So, like, the fences were, like, uneven. And that happens with kids. Like you miscalculate measurements. It happens sometimes. I haven't been in a situation exactly like this, but, with other kids, it has happened. And basically, I didn't want my mom to find out, but, I didn't want my mom to find out, but I knew lying would just make things worse, so I just told the truth. And then Remy's like, that's a perfect idea, Mr. Green. I'll tell them I built a fence. Oh, great, Bill. You gave Remy the wrong idea. Even Bill's like, you took the wrong idea out of the story. And I was like, congratulations, Remy, you thought of an idea. And Bill's like, oh my goodness, what have I done? And then it's like, okay, it's time. Even Remy's phone is vibrating. It's like, what am I gonna do? I don't know how to build a phone. What if they ask for details? And Craig's like, don't worry, I'll write some cheese on your arms. And that's a classic. Your notes are on your arm, and then you just start sweating, and it gets smudged all over. It happens like in every media. If it didn't happen here, I would have been surprised. But I'm not mad that it actually happened. But I'm like, yep, of course. It's very simple and classic. So, and basically, they call, hooray! And I'm like this, how Vasquez one pushed them, but also Vasquez works for I forgot their names. Russell and Rochelle, Remy's parents, basically the Remingtons. So I get that Vasquez is very protective of Remy, and he's excited to see him. Yeah, and that makes sense. He wants to keep his little guy safe. That makes sense. But he just pushed him out of the way. I'm like, Vasquez, these are the guys you're working for. These are the parents that the people, probably even before they were parents, before they had Remy, that your dad worked for. But if you didn't know, like Vasquez Senior, Vasquez's father, actually worked for the Remingtons, basically. So like, Vasquez, what are you doing? Thank goodness they weren't her, because Vasquez is like CIA. What was he, CIA or FBI? I'm not sure. So like, I didn't like that, because I'm like, Vasquez, I get you're excited to see Remy, but no, do not shove your bosses like onto the floor, making a crashing noise. Like, no, thank you. Um, and basically Remy's like, and basically they get up from that fall, and oh, boop, sorry about that. Just ignore that. And basically, like, I learned how to build a fence. It's like, oh, how exciting! Like, how did you do it? And of course, Remy called this. They're gonna ask for details. And he's like, and of course, he's sweating, and it's getting all over his arm, and it's getting all smudgy, and the only words he can see is like first and the, and like then, like those are the only like words that and like when, and like those are all like the letters that the words he can see. He's like, and I like how they bring in realistic situations, like, oh, maybe the screen's frozen, and Rochelle is like, oh, no, we can see the sweat moving down his face, it's working in perfect motion. And it's like, oh, son, you okay? And the Green's like, we gotta help him. And basically they're just making the different noises and stuff, and Remy just can't understand what they're saying. And then it's like, oh, oh yeah, I'm sorry for like being all like sweaty. It's very hot in the country. So, oh, okay, that's fine, son. I'm glad that you're very understanding. Like, okay, like, how did you build a fence? Like, what's the first thing you did? Okay, the first thing I did was what was it? Basically, it was Cricket saying, "Oh, carrying wood," and I think Remy should have heard him, but again, Remy's spiraling out of control. It made sense, and he's like, "Oh, I swing a baseball bat," and they're like, how does that go to building a fence?" Like, I'm glad they're doing like judging Remy, or they're just generally curious, like, swing a baseball bat, how does that work in building a fence? Like, they're just generally curious. It's like, like, oh, because like, oh, it helps with like, like getting my arms ready. And then obviously Remy's father's a football guy. Said, oh yeah, keeping your arms warmed up. Oh, that makes sense. And they're oh yeah, nice save, Remy. And said, okay, the next thing is and Nancy's like, digging holes, and he's like, kicking moles. He's like, what does that have to do with building a fence? And then Remy's just saying like, oh, we gotta get rid of the moles because they're pests and stuff. And and then Vasquez brings up, wouldn't the moles just go under the fence? Like, well, what did they? And said, yeah, that's exactly why we had to kick them out. And said, okay, so you swing a baseball bat to get your arms ready, and you kick moles. What's the next thing you did? Is it And it's, oh, it's not even just the moles. It's like a bunch of different variety of animals that we had to get rid of in order to build a fence. Excuse me. And basically saying a bunch of different animals and stuff. And Nancy's just ridiculous. She's making a beaver noise. It's a beaver, and she just puts on a hat. With a hat. And this is like, yeah. What is it with Nancy with hats? I think that's probably like my favorite part of the episode. It's like, Nancy's ridiculous. I love it. And Bill just constantly wanted everyone to tell the truth. There's even one particular moment I was like, aw. But I'll get to that later. But it was like, what does that have to do with building a fence? That's a common question that the Remingtons along with Vasquez have. What does that have to do with building a fence? And they're like, Remy, are you making this up? and basically like, oh, no. And he's getting more and more nervous. And basically, this is the moment where Bill just writes down a piece of paper. Tell the truth. Bill just has to, not even like I'm angry or I'm disappointed look at Remy. He just has like a nice, simple smile. Just with a face is, tell the truth. Like, it's time. Out of ideas. You're not understanding what my family's saying. You're obviously acting like a bunch of wackadoodles. Your parents getting suspicious. Your parents are not gonna like hate you or anything. They're gonna be probably disappointed. That makes sense, but they're not gonna hate you or anything. Like oh my goodness, like no, like you made a mistake and you're lying like a probably like a couple of times at most. So like, I'm not gonna hate you. So Bill's just like, tell the truth. And then and basically Remy goes into a story of I. I need to tell you that I have been building a fence. And Remy's and Bill's like, and he's like, I actually been like, I fought a wolf. That's the reason why I was talking about all those bunch of animals, to tell you the real story about fighting a wolf. And Bill just rips out the paper and just, I'm done. He even like, and is it, you fought a wolf? And he's like, yeah. No, he actually mentioned like, oh, he didn't lie about the fence. The reason why I was building the fence in the first place, and the reason why I was so nervous, is because to tell you the truth, is because I fought a wolf, and it's to keep wolves out, because I fought one before. And I look at everyone's like proud of him except for Bill, and he's like I was like, caring for Miss Debbie, like the one that he didn't actually say this, but I bet like he actually told his parents that I actually learned how to give birth to a calf, or assisted a cow giving birth to a calf, basically. Remy did actually give birth. Oh my goodness. And he said like, oh, but like the wolf snatched her, and I had to chase after it. There was no time to think, and they're like, oh yeah, realistic, and they're in the correct environment, and it was nighttime, and like the wolf was huge. Miss Debbie was cowering in fear. There was no time to think. I jumped at the wolf's hair and blood and saliva, so much blood, and Alice is like, she's proud of her boy, her like adopted grandson, kind of. She never says it like officially, like Hop Hop did, like in a Amphibia. And he's like, the wolf even swallowed me, but I didn't give up. I punched it in the intestines, and I just had the one fatal jump, missing the what was it, the 37 razor sharp teeth. And and the wolf cowered in shame, and I carried Miss Debbie as a hero to safety back to the Green family farm. And the Remy says like, that's unbelievable. It's like, oh really? It's like, yeah, as it's unable to be believed. It's like, did you even, if you even Vasquez like, did you even build a fence? It's like, the truth is, I even like how Remy went to Mr. Green's help, and he's just doing this because he is just having a migraine of this situation. Remy's like, I lied to you, and Bill's like, what? You have to said it. I lied to you. I didn't fight a wolf. I didn't build a fence. I'm sorry I lied to you so many times. I was goofing off with Cricket and Tilly. I wanted to give you my report, but I just forgot. I'm sorry. I don't want you to take me away from Cricket and Tilly. Like, and it's like, I'm sorry I lied to you. And they're not mad. They're just like, oh, we ever thought you were fighting a wolf, or possibly doing some other dangerous thing. Like, oh my goodness. It's like, we just glad you're okay. And it's like, oh, you're not mad at me? It's like, no. Like, honestly, between fighting a wolf and just goofing off with Cricket and Tilly, we prefer you goofing off. And hey, we know we put you a lot of... if you just told us the truth, we would have been fine. Like, we would obviously want you to do an actual report next week. But mainly, we want you to do these reports so that, one, you keep your studies in check. And two, so we can actually check up on you. We love you. We want to catch up. And Ryan's like, oh, hey, we know we put a lot of pressure on you, but it's because we love and care about you. And we know sometimes it's a little bit much. You just need to goof off with the greens. And everyone's just smiling at Remy. And he's like, oh, so everything's okay? And then they're like, absolutely not. Since you lied and continued to lie, you need to write like a 200-word essay on lying, I think it was, or like a 2-page, 200-word essay. And Remy looks at the greens like, oh, I guess I did learn something. I actually liked how Remy actually got a punch from movies. He did lie, and lying is wrong. And that's the end of the episode. Let's see. 70%. Yeah, this was a good half of the episode. Obviously, I liked the first half, on Pen Pals better. I thought it was a great episode. Solid B, 80%. I thought this was a solid C, 70%. Again, that's not bad, or like that's even better than okay by a lot of means. But it was good. So I would give the overall episode. So like the first half, Pen Pals was at 80%. It was great. B plus. Second half, Study Abroad, 70%. C plus. Oh, not C plus. Solid C. It was good. So overall, I would give this episode, Big City Greens season 3, episode 16, a C plus. 75% good. This was a good episode. Episode 15, I said that it was a great episode. Episode 16, it was a great episode. C plus, 75%. And yeah. So yeah, everyone don't forget to subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, give me a big thumbs up, leave a comment down below. Don't forget to share the video. Don't forget to check out my mini reviews and my community posts, and I'll see you guys hoping tomorrow, because I was planning on doing episode 17 today. It didn't work out, so I need to see if I'm gonna do episode 17 and 18 tomorrow, Sunday, or maybe just skip Sunday and just do Monday and Tuesday, do 17 and 18. I need to check my schedule because of the, see, I'm still wearing my fancy shirt, or like semi fancy shirt. I basically kind of took a day off like from studying, but tomorrow I'm actually gonna get back into it. So I need to see if I'm gonna have time for 17 and 18, because it's not a big deal, but I don't like to like leave things off an episode like off on a odd number, unless that's actually what the episodes like end up to be. Like Owl House season 1, that's actually ended in an odd number, so it works like for me to end the week in an odd number. But with Big City Greens, it ends with episode 20, so I need to see. You know what? Actually, I think I'll just do episode 17 by itself, because one is actually going to be a double episode, and two, it's not in the timeline actually, because in air day, it's episode 16, but I kind of wanted to do this as episode 16 technically, and on Disney Plus this is episode 16, but at the actual episode 16, which is labeled episode 20 on Disney Plus, is it's a Christmas episode basically, and that episode actually takes place in timeline in season 2, which is weird. And the season 2 Christmas episode in timeline takes place in season 1, like the second half of season 1. So yeah, I'll talk about that more tomorrow. But yeah, I'll just do that, like, out of place Christmas episode. I'll just do that tomorrow because that makes sense. And yeah, so I'll see you guys tomorrow for that. I forgot the name of the episode. I think it might be Green Christmas, but I might be thinking about that first Christmas episode of Big City Green. So yeah, I'll just catch you guys tomorrow for the Christmas episode. Okay. Bye.